How do leadership teams typically use 90? You want to use it for your weekly meeting rhythm and your quarterly planning cadence and your annual planning cadence that really establishes the operational cadence of your business. So, this is on an annual, quarterly, and weekly basis to get aligned to that big picture and then bring it back down to how you're actually getting those things done on a week to week basis. So, what does that mean time commitment wise? You're going to have about 15 minutes of prep per person, a 90-minute meeting per week. And so, this hour and 45 minutes is going to be so important for making sure you've got scorecard items up to date going into that meeting so you can have proactive conversations about the outcomes instead of just getting the numbers entered. You're going to have those rocks entered or updated ahead of that meeting. When you go into rock review, it's about what's on track and off track and dropping things down to the issues list. You're going to have your to-dos completed so you can just talk about things that are past due or the headlines that come out of things getting done, and then any new issues, which is where you spend the bulk, the 60-minute portion of that 90-minute meeting. An hour 45 minutes, this is your weekly basis, this is your together time, and then one day a quarter, you are going to be focused on a reset. What did we do last quarter? What worked? What didn't work? Let's do a retro. Let's reset to our annual goals and let's plan for the next quarter. So this lets you all come together as a leadership team, make sure that you're still effectively working towards those quarterly goals and make sure you're removing those bigger picture roadblocks. This is that quarterly rhythm that is inside 90. You have a quarterly planning cadence you can do inside of our meetings function. So the quarterly session takes you through that exact process of reviewing last quarter, realigning to your annual goals, and reestablishing new rocks so that you can IDS on those longer term issues. And then one time a year, you're also going to come together in a meeting and you're going to have 2 days together. And those 2 days are going to be not only reviewing what happened over the last quarter, but what happened over the last year. What did we learn? Did we hit our annual goals? And let's replan for next quarter as well. We'll have a separate video on annual planning since there's a lot that goes into that, including team health, looking at your organizational checkup and things like that. So a little bit more retrospective there. The My 90 dashboard, everything in 90, keeps you on plan and focused in. Once you set those goals, how are you actually executing against them and how are you distributing responsibility to your team members? Now it's no longer on the integrator usually or the single person having to make sure to-dos are getting done or make sure that issues are added to the list. Now each leader has the responsibility to take full accountability for their function and keep all of these items updated and make sure their aspect of the business is moving forward and that everyone is collaborating and aligned together. This is usually what your operational cadence looks like. That quarterly pulse, you plan as a leadership team, you probably plan as a department, you have a state of the company to communicate that plan, and then you do have quarterly conversations or reviews so you can talk to your individual's manager to a direct report about how things went for them as opposed to just the team as a whole. And then you have the weekly pulse that reinforces, here's what we set as our quarterly plan. Are we continuing to march in that right direction? And so you run that quarterly planning meeting, your departmental planning meeting, your quarterly conversations, all through 90, again, through this meeting specific functionality. And then our one-on-ones has the quarterly review area that you can leverage. And then our weekly pulse, you can run multiple teams, your SLT, your team level 10s, and then also your one-on-ones all through that 90 weekly meeting. A lot of times people will go to the meetings area and actually customize the agenda within here. So if they wanted to customize the level 10 meeting for the team as opposed to the one-on-one, as opposed to sales versus operations versus finance, they can come in and customize agendas for all of those teams. And this is going to be what gives you the predictable rhythm. It's going to be what helps you drive results, what helps you actually have visibility to your one-year goals, have visibility to how those one-year goals are getting done through quarterly planning, through actually executing on the quarter. And we like to say you're winning the week so you can win the quarter, so you can win the year. It's all about that build up, those things coming together. That hour 45 per week helps set you up for that great one day each quarter and helps compound in terms of the amount of clarity that you're going to get across the business. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out throughout our application and our website. You've got access to real people right here on the bottom right. So we hope to hear from you soon.